Hey friends, Nibs here. Wanted to get out and do a little shooting this afternoon. This gun's actually one you've already seen before, actually a couple times I think now. Just doing some more testing. Actually got some brass and got some, well, I had the bullets already and the primers and everything, but I've got some brass for it and got some dies, that's what I meant to say. And started making my own loads for it. So I don't have to spend $65, $70 a box for ammo for this thing, but it's a pretty cool shooter, so having a lot of fun with it. It's my Savage 23C Sporter, and that's chambered for 3220 Winchester is actually what it is. 3220 Winchester is what they call it. So I have some loads. I'm going to be looking around for another mold. I think I did find some loads. I had an 80 grain mold, which mainly I'm using for my 32 ACP loads. They work really well in there. But they're 80 grain round nose bullets, and I did find a couple of loads that looked promising, so I wanted to give them a try. So bringing them out here to the range, I did make up two different load variations, and it looks like the hotter of the two is actually showing a little bit of promise here. Might be able to work it up and down a little bit and tighten the group up a little bit. So I did a 3.1 grain of tight group, and that's not showing too good a promise. I'm going to shoot another mag full just to make sure it wasn't just a cold barrel thing with this thing here. But that was the first group I shot today, and it's several inches at least at 50 yards here. So we'll try it again and see if we can't do a little bit better. So the other one was a 3.5 grains of tight group. This was 3.1 grains of tight group. They're both pretty mild rifle loads. So, but we'll give them another try and see. Might just be plinker rounds. That shot in the one before. Ooh, I'll have to get that one. That brass is worth its money. That shot and the last shot are only about an inch apart, so maybe it was just a cold bore problem. Still haven't figured out the problem with this. This rifle's not. It's actually the magazine. Not letting the rounds come all the way to the top. You got to fiddle with them sometimes to get them to come up to the top where the bolt can pick them up. So. I don't know, still wandering around. So let's see what the last one does. Dead on bullseye, so I mean it's not terrible. It's shooting the thing. So the other thing I brought out just kind of show you guys. I don't really know for this particular rifle with this big scope on it, but wanted to bring out my old spotting scope that I've had for several years now. It's pretty cool. Really comes in handy when you're shooting like 50 yards or whatever with a gun with open sights or peep sights for spotting. But it's an old Wollensak. It's a 20X, and it's not bad. It can definitely get the bullet impact wouldn't want to try to use it much past 100 yards, I don't think. But for 50 and 100 yards, for 22 shooting, it's pretty cool because it's a nice old spotting scope, and it from what I found, Wollensak made these just prior to World War II, and then when World War II broke out, they for the United States they switched over to solely making optics for the military, and then when World War II was over, they never resumed these. So this is very early, probably 1940, 41 production is about the only time they made these, from what I've found online. But yeah, I have two targets out there at 50 yards. Left one is for my 3.1 load, and right is for my 3.5 load, and I can see the bullet impacts for both of those targets real easy at 50 yards. So even a 22 bullet, it's pretty easy to see. So I don't know if grab a couple of the 3.5s here, we'll shoot some of those, and then I'll show you guys the target. So it's very clear in the center. When you got to focus it, you actually pull this out until you start seeing your image, and then you twist the barrel to focus it, and it's very clear in the center. I can actually read the numbers on the target, but once you get to the outer edges, it's kind of fish-eyed looking, I guess you'd call it. I don't know if they were like that when they were new, but the thing's 80 some years old, so I'm not going to give it any grief for lucky it's still working, I guess. So all right, so let's try the 3.5s, and then I'll show you the target, and we'll wrap this up. I didn't want to keep you guys too long today, but I just wanted to give you guys a look at my my work with my reloads. I think like I said, I think the 3.5s might be showing a little bit more promise. I'll probably do a ladder starting at the 3.5 and work my way down a couple of tenths and up a couple of tenths, and see if we can't tighten them up a little bit. So now the impacts are getting closer to the center of the target. I don't know if it's just that's even a better group than the first one with 3.5s I did. So I think that load's gonna. That's where I'm gonna work from, is with that one. Try, like I said, do a ladder with it. My next step, when I start developing a load like this, I'll start with that load, and like I said, I'll load like 5. I've already got these ones, so I don't need to load 5 more. But I'll load 5 at like 3.4, 5 at 3.3, 5 at 3.2. These are our 3.1, so I know that's not good. And then I'll go up a couple of tenths, and either go up and down a couple, do 5 of each in either direction, and then come back out and try them again. So I've developed a couple of good loads that way. Well, quite a few actually. But that's really the way I've learned to dial in your loads. It takes a little bit of time, it's a little tedious, but it usually works out pretty good once you found one that's semi-decent and stabilizing your bullets real well. So I'll take you out there and show you that target now. Alrighty friends, so here is my groups for my 23C, shooting my new hand loads that I'm working on. This first target here is the 3.1 grain of tight group, and the first three that I shot off camera was, I believe, this one, and this one, and then the group that I shot on camera was this bullseye here, this one down here, and then this lower one here. So not great grouping on either one of those. That one probably a little too low, and I'm not stabilizing the bullets well. They are going through all around and everything. Nobody's doesn't look like anything's tumbling or anything, but definitely not the best grouping there. So, but let's go over to this one here. You know, still not going to win any contests here with this one, but this is my 3.5 grain of tight group with my 80 grain round nose bullets. This is the first group here, 1, 2, 3, and that's not too bad. You know, we can work with that and tighten it up, I think, with a little bit of adjustment on the powder up and down a little bit. I have, you know, it's probably 2.5 inches on that one, and then this one here is the one I shot on camera. So got two right here touching, and then one up here top. So it's probably 1.5 inch group overall, maybe a little under that, under 1.5 inches. So I think adjusting the load, powder load, a couple of tenths up and a couple of tenths or down, will probably go a long way to making that a good looking load for me. So it'll be a lot of fun to tighten this guy up and you know, get some sub MOA groups out of it. So anyway, back to the video. Okay, so as you can see, the 3.1s are kind of scattering a little bit. The 3.5s are you know, doing all right. Still a little wider group than I would like, a little wider than the commercial ammo that I had is doing, but like I said, I think I can tighten that up. So not much more to say. We'll wrap this one up for now. Shooting my Model 23C, Savage 23C, 3220 Winchester. Shooting it with a Litschurz. I believe it's a 10X. Yeah, 10X Litschurz. Model A scope. Those also were made right around the early 40s, 1940s. Another Litschurz was another one that started focusing all their attention on World War II military optics during the war. These were pre-war. The Model A, they had a Model A and B, I believe. And then after the war, they came out with, they had, I can't even remember the names of them, but they started giving them names instead of a letter or a model, letter or a number for a model. So this is a real early one. I got it from my buddy Brian on the channel. Thanks a lot, Brian. It's a great scope. He had it, and the crosshairs were broken on it. Before he shipped it to me, one of them was broken, and the other one he said was there. And when I received it, both of the crosshairs, but it was the second one was probably on its way out already. And I'm not throwing any stones at Brian. He's a great guy, but when I got it, both the crosshairs were not even visible in the field of view anymore. So I was able to take it apart, and I had bought some .0005 inch, 5/10,000ths of an inch tungsten wire to fix a couple of old weavers. And some use bigger wire, some use smaller wire, but it just turns out that that was perfect size for this one as well. So I was able to solder some new tungsten wire across for crosshairs, and it's really working great. So it's a very clear scope. If anything, the only thing that's wrong with that repair is the horizontal crosshair has one little speck of dust right towards the bottom. It's not in the normal sighting picture as far as where you aim at the thing. So I didn't bother taking it back apart and trying to fix that, because it's just almost at the bottom of the field of view. So for me, it's a nearly perfect repair. So I didn't want to mess with it, and because sometimes you just touch them things, even with a Q-tip with some cleaner on it, and you'll snap that wire, and you have to start all over again. So anyway, I didn't want to keep you guys too long, but I wanted to give you guys a look at my progress on my reloads for the 3220. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends too. Want to keep this thing growing. It's doing pretty good. Adding a lot of new subscribers on a regular basis. So down in the description, I have some links there if you want to check those out. My collectors group on Facebook and on MeWe, and also my Patreon page is down there as well. So hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.